Okay, I guess we can start it now. Good morning, everyone. My name is Vartui Andresian. Many of you may know me. For many of you, maybe this is the first time. So I'm the business counseling manager at PACE Business Development Center. Thank you all for being here today. We truly appreciate your time and interest in joining this workshop. To start, I'd like to briefly introduce PACE. We are a nonprofit community development organization. We are proudly celebrating our 50 years of services this year. Our programs span early childhood education, workforce development, energy efficiency, business development center, and many more. Through our Business Development Center, we support entrepreneurs across Southern California by offering business counseling, procurement assistance, and access to capital. Under the City of Los Angeles BusinessSource network, there are 3 centers, and PACE proudly operates two of them, including the Hollywood Center that I manage that center. So today I'm also pleased to have with us Luis Monterosa, the Management Assistant for the Jobs and Economic Development Center, JEDI Zone for Hollywood, the Hollywood team from the City of Los Angeles. Thank you, Luis, for taking the time to join us.
Yeah.
And now turning to today's workshop, I am very excited to kick things off and would like to extend our sincere thanks to Anthony Hernandez, CEO and founder of Captain IT. He enthusiastically agreed to lead today's session. A big thank you to you, Anthony, and to your team for making this possible. I would like to give you a very quick overview of the company. Captain IT is a trusted leader in managed IT services based in Los Angeles. Since 2010, they supported a wide range of businesses, including those in construction, manufacturing, healthcare, and the nonprofit sector, by helping those businesses to streamline their operation, reduce the risk, and take control of their technology needs. So the experienced team they have is known for delivering reliable, customized solution and that keep businesses running smoothly. So I will now hand it over to Anthony and his team to introduce themselves and take us into today's session. Before I do, just a quick reminder that we will wrap up with a Q&A. So feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A box and at any time during the presentation, and we will make sure to cover all the questions. So let's get started. Thank you again and enjoy the workshop. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Vartui, for the introduction. My name is Anthony Hernandez. I am the CEO of Captain IT. We are a managed services company, IT company. We serve the entire Southern California. But before we dive in, I can introduce myself and tell you a little more about myself and my IT background. So I have a computer information systems degree from Cal Poly Pomona. I've been doing IT. Been in IT ever since. I've been a field technician, web developer, systems trainer. My last job in LA was for a chartered management organization where I was responsible for building the infrastructure of 20 schools. So I was there as a director of IT for 7-8 years, and in 2009, decided to start my own business. Started fixing computers and slowly transition ourselves to do strictly business to business IT services, and cybersecurity was not such a big issue back then, but slowly over the years things have gotten a lot worse, and we see unfortunately small businesses wiring thousands of dollars to hackers. And it's our mission to educate those small businesses and help small businesses avoid those situations, because they can be extremely stressful and devastating for a small business. Something a little more about myself. I am the father of 6 kids. My oldest one is 17. My youngest one is 5. So you can imagine how busy I am trying to, actually doing, growing a business, running a business, and trying to parent 6 kids. Extremely challenging, but very rewarding, and I feel very blessed. And again, thank you, Virtuti, for this opportunity. Uh, I will also introduce with me here on the call. It's Lucas Smith. He is one of our lead engineers here. He's a systems engineer. I'll pass it on to him so he can introduce himself, tell us a little about his background, and he'll kick off the presentation. Again, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending. We're very excited to present this and share some of our knowledge on the topic of cybersecurity here. A little bit about me. My name is Lucas Smith. I am a U.S. Army veteran of 10 years. I shot artillery for a living for a very long time and decided to make the transition into information systems. I've found great joy in protecting customers' data, as well as implementing solutions for some of our customers so that they can be better protected. I would say the Captain IT team here is very passionate about what we do, and so we're very excited to move forward and share some of the wealth with you here in the meeting today. All right, I guess just are we ready to kick this off? Okay, so thank you again for coming. And again, my name is Lucas Smith. I'm a systems engineer here at Captain IT. Today we will be having a webinar to go over cybersecurity essentials that every smart business owner must master. And so as we go through this, these are going to be things that you can implement for yourself, for your business, and better protect yourself with little to no oversight. So let's go ahead and move forward. So the first thing we want to talk about is just why cybersecurity matters in general. Cybersecurity is a hot topic that is coming about more recently as the world progresses towards a more technologically advanced era. We have AI, we have a lot of different things that are coming out, and that in turn, it has an impact on how our businesses operate. One of the biggest threats that a business can experience is ransomware. This is something that can essentially get onto your device or your network, encrypt all of your devices, and in a lot of cases, hackers are going to ask you to pay some kind of cryptocurrency or something to unlock your device. But at the end of the day, it's a very scary event, and there's no real telling whether or not they'll actually unlock your device after this kind of incident happens. And they say 55% of ransomware victims have less than 100 employees. So generally, these targets are small to medium-sized businesses. You're not going to see, Walmart getting targeted as much as some of these smaller to medium-sized businesses. And 60% of small businesses shut down within 6 months of those cyber attacks. These can be very critical if you have a server on site with, let's say, accounting software or important customer information, and that gets encrypted, and you don't have other measures in place that can really be a huge impact your business and how you get back up and running, potentially losing customers due to downtime. So it's very important to have strong security measures in place. On average, the small to medium-sized business pays $120,000 to $1.24 million when an incident like this happens. And again, it's from a variety of factors, replacing systems, losing customers, or potentially sensitive information. And on average, out there on the internet, hackers like to use something called botnets. And what they do is they install malicious software on devices, and they can then use these devices to turn around and target some of these small to medium-sized businesses. And what they're doing is they're actually scanning the internet for servers that are exposed. And we'll kind of dive into, why that's so important and how to not be exposed. So let's move on to the next agenda here. Be talking again about 10 cybersecurity essentials that every smart business owner must master. Number one is multi-factor authentication. Number two, weekly computer updates. Number three, modern anti-ransomware protection. Number four, data backups. 5, email security and anti-phishing. Number 6, file permissions. Number 7 will be network security. Number 8, secure remote work. Number 9, physical security. And most importantly, number 10, security awareness training. So moving forward, we're going to talk first about multi-factor authentication and why this is so important. So what multi-factor authentication is it's a way to authenticate with a secondary method, such as, a good example for something that we see day to day. A lot of customers use either Gmail or Microsoft for their applications and their email. This is just adding a secondary authentication method to your account. You already have a password on it. But enrolling your account in multi-factor authentication, you can use something like Microsoft Authenticator in order to add an additional layer. So when you enter your password on office.com, let's say, it'll actually prompt you some digits to authenticate into your account. In general, just adding the secondary check stops 99.9% of all attacks on these accounts. It is one of the most important ways you can bolster your security on just your personal accounts, whether that be your work email, your personal emails, whatever that is. When it comes to enforcing multi-factor authentication within your organization, there's a couple of key things that should be looked at first. Number one, emails, right? Because we're communicating with vendors and clients, and potentially we have sensitive data in those emails, customer payment information. We want to lock that down so that if God forbid, someone tried to attack your email account by doing a credential attack, where they basically send a bunch of randomized phrases and stuff to try to break into your account. The multi-factor authentication would be required for them to get in. So as long as you have your phone, then you're secure. And in general, you would want to prioritize administrative portals. Now, some small businesses may manage something like an antivirus internally. They may have a Google Suite or a Microsoft 365 Administrator Center. These administrative accounts, they need to be locked down so that to minimize the attack for attackers to get in and make changes to potentially your organization. And again, accounting applications, for many of our clients that have security needs, they may have an accounting software or a software that they use for their line of business. And we want to make sure that we add secondary forms of authentication so that a hacker can't just find your server from a web scan and just log straight in. It's very important to emphasize this. And again, going back to the authenticator apps, there's quite a few out there, such as Duo, Google Duo, which is one form that you can use for multi-factor authentication. And of course, for Microsoft accounts, it's always recommended to use the Microsoft Authenticator. Moving forward to our next computer updates. This one is one of the most critical. It's very for one to kind of understand your device, what operating system you're on, and maybe even some of the softwares that you're using. It's important to automate the patching for these things. In general, Windows, they include something called Windows Update Service. And what this will do is, look for weekly updates and such and apply them to your computer within a restart window. And typically at the enterprise level, we try to automate some of this so that all devices update at the same time, and sometimes even stagger updates so we're not rolling out immediate things. And again, for your browsers, it's very important to keep your third-party software such as Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, any of these things. It's important to apply regular updates, and it's so critical because organizations will release hotfix and security fixes for things. So you may have a outdated Google Chrome, and that may have a very bad vulnerability. So it's important to constantly update your softwares just to patch those holes. And again, firewalls or firmware specifically, it's important to update your device firmware as well. This is something that's different than a Windows update, for instance. But again, this fixes critical security, security holes. So it is very important to keep all of your devices up to date. Oftentimes we hear the term either end of life or end of for something like Windows as an example. Windows 10 this year is becoming end of support here. So they would no longer be releasing security updates after October. So if your systems are on Windows 10, that you're potentially introducing more vulnerabilities into your enterprise network just due to the fact that any vulnerabilities on your system are not going to be getting security updates. So this is why it's so critical to kind of understand, where exactly your system is at and the devices that you're using. Moving on to topic 3, modern anti-ransomware protection. So as previously stated, ransomware is a huge threat nowadays. There are quite a few tools out there that can do different things to protect your device and your network. In general, a ransomware attack, it can impact your organization, but it doesn't have to be things. Oftentimes there's products, they call them next-gen antivirus or endpoint protection. Oftentimes we hear this referred to as endpoint detection and response. And these are softwares that are based off of, they call them signatures. And this is essentially certain malware and viruses. They have behaviors that they'll do, such as ransomware, which, encrypts your hard drive and does a variety of other things. These softwares, strong antivirus and endpoint protection, they can actually detect before this software does anything malicious. So if it detects that it's on your computer and it's maybe trying to talk across the network to see other devices, if you have an endpoint detection and response, it would actually stop your computer's ability to talk across the network. If your hard drive was encrypted from ransomware, there's something called rollback protection. And what this does is it can then quarantine that virus in its current state and roll your computer back before it was encrypted. So this is a very strong security measure that you can implement that can really protect your business. And again, another critical component of that would be getting alerts and understanding, what they mean in particular. But if a device has a malware detected on it, whoever the manager or potentially IT people would need to know, so that they could respond to that device. So many times these portals, they have the option to send alert emails and stuff like that to whoever the owner of the account is. So next, we're going to talk about backups. For us here at Captain IT, this is one of the most critical things, if not the most, because, incidents happen. Cybersecurity is a new and growing field. Incidents do happen, but more than anything, it's important to have good backups so that if an incident does happen, that you can actually restore your environment from these backups. A common example that we would see all the time is an employee accidentally deletes a file from a server folder or something of that nature. And a lot of times, depending on what kind of backups you have, you can actually restore those files directly down to the system. In general, it's recommended to have 2 forms of backups. This can be local backups, right? You can put a device on your network with essentially hard drives, and you can back up your systems to that or your files. And then a second form would be in the cloud, right? We often talk in IT about single points of failure. So we want to have our backups in 2 different places just to make sure that if something gets compromised, we have our backups in another location. There are multiple forms of backups that can be done. Typically, there is file backups, which, as it sounds, it would just back up the files on your system, again, either locally on a device, on your network, or to the cloud. And then this can be used to restore information. And then there's another form of backups actually called a system image backup. And what that does is it instead of just backing up the individual files, it takes an entire snapshot of the device itself. And typically this is called a image of the software. And that can then be used to reinstall your entire system in its current state of its backup. So if potentially your organization is hit with a ransomware attack and you have good backups of these devices, you can potentially just restore all of the devices to the state that they were at prior to the attack. It's a very helpful solution, and it's something that we utilize daily. And again, testing with these backups is very important. It's important to make sure that it's working. You can have it implemented. It might be backing up to the cloud or to your device locally. But if you don't have alerts set up, potentially the backup's corrupted. So it's important to test these things, especially when you're implementing new tools, to weigh not only the impact, but to make sure that you're getting your money's worth and you're getting what you need from these softwares. But again, backups are incredibly important. A lot of situations can be mitigated by just having good backups in place. Okay, moving on, we're going to talk about email security and anti-phishing. So obviously, besides ransomware, there's another huge threat out there, and this is phishing emails. Oftentimes, depending on the motive of the hacker or the organization, they will target businesses with specific instructions. Many times they include something they call a call to action. Hey, this is Dave from accounting. I need access to the server right now. It's very critical. Or hey, we changed our ACH information by 1 number. I'm worried I'm not going to get in. Can you just send that over? And oftentimes hackers will spoof other businesses, and they will make it look as if it's legitimate. Obviously, that's the goal. It's easy to fall victim, even if you're experienced in this. So it's very important to recognize the signs of this stuff, and we'll circle back to that with the cybersecurity training. But first, we're going to talk specifically about something called DNS records, and more specifically, mail security records. So there are quite a few records that can be implemented to help your domain. For one, it improves your overall security of your mail. For two, depending on who it is that you work with, this can help improve your email deliverability to those people. So just by default, Google and Yahoo. I know many small businesses they may not have a domain set up in the actual official business email. So they may be emailing through a personal Gmail account. Google and Yahoo both require, at a bare minimum, something called a SPF record. This stands for Sender Policy Framework. And what this is specifically is it's a way of authenticating your emails as they get sent out. So, invisible to the eye in the background, your email has, a bunch of data attached to it. By adding one of these records, specifically a Sender Policy Framework record, it can authenticate you as your emails get delivered through other mail servers to clients, vendors, whoever that. The next level up of this is something called the DKIM record, the domain key identified mail record. And what this does is, it's an even stronger way to bolster your email security. This is something that typically gets generated through an administrative portal, specifically something like Microsoft. If you have a Microsoft Administrative Center, you could go in there and generate this, what they call a key, and it's a record that you would attach to your domain that then further authenticates your domain. Next, we have something called a DMARC record. This is a record that can be utilized for a multitude of purposes. For one, if you can set this DMARC record to 3 different statuses essentially. And number one is you can set the policy on this specific record to none, and what that'll do is it will not only authenticate you, but it will track your email deliverability. So then that can then be used, if you are a business that has marketing campaigns and you're emailing out to potential clients to try to seek new business. This can help with those things to authenticate you. And it also works in reverse when you're receiving mail to your inbox. So you can also change the DMARC record to something called a policy called quarantine. And what that does is if you do that and someone sends you an email and they do not have either a sender policy framework record or a DKIM record implemented, it will automatically flag their email as spam and put it in the spam folder. Depending on the nature of your business, you may want to flag anyone that doesn't have proper mail records, depending on the case. So it's very important to kind of understand that when it comes to mail flow and securing your business. These can also do things like softwares that we sometimes use for some of our clients that does mail filtering. So instead of just the email security that we're talking about with the sender policy framework record and the DKIM, you can have a third-party vendor analyze your mail before it even reaches your mailbox. And in this case, it can also do things like scan links and attachments. So as it gets delivered to you, these platforms can actually scan them and check for malware before it even gets delivered to you. And depending on what it is, if it integrates AI or some kind of learning, it can actually develop a pattern and then automatically assign different tiers to emails as they come in to just better protect your business and quarantine any phishing emails that may come in. Many times there are platforms that do things like simulated phishing. And again, we'll talk more about this with the cybersecurity awareness training. But essentially what this is you can send fake phishing emails to your employees, and they can then, learn to identify some of the signs of phishing emails. It may also alert them that they clicked on a pretend phishing email, and that can later on down the line be integrated into things like cybersecurity training and whatnot. But overall, email security is, I would say, one of the most important topics, just because how organizations communicate with their clients among themselves, it's very important to lock this stuff down. So next, we're going to talk about the actual system itself and what we're sharing on the network and who has access. So file permissions, topic 6. It's very important for one, depending on who is accessing your data on site, to understand what level of control that they have. If you have a server with QuickBooks, for instance, on it, you wouldn't necessarily want your new temp that came in the door to have full unrestricted access to go in there and accidentally delete that. It's very important to control how our data is accessed. Oftentimes you want to just give what they call read-only access, which allows someone to open a file and view it without actually modifying it. And again, the backups tie into this. Even if someone did delete something by accident, if good backups are in place, they can then be restored. Again, we want to review the permissions, any of these resources that we have. If someone leaves the account or leaves the company itself, we would want to disable their account. We would want to check what they had access to, rotate the password on the account, things of that nature. And that's what this next block is talking about, just disabling inactive accounts for users that don't need it. If you have a vendor that sometimes remotes in to help you with things, keep that account locked down until they actually need to log in. Auditing, there is ways to enable auditing on some of these folders. If you have again, something like maybe a server, for instance, and you want to know who's making modifications to that folder itself and the files in it, you can enable auditing on it to see specifically who changes. Very important for when managing any kind of sensitive data, like it's customer payment information or anything like that. And the number one vulnerability to a small to medium-sized business is the employees. It's very important, especially if you have something like a server, to talk and train with your employees. They should be storing their documents on the server, depending if you have one. If not, you want to try to store things in a secure location, just so that if someone did get hit with a ransomware attack or something of that nature, the files on their computer are not affected. It's very critical to kind of separate where we put things just to protect the business itself. So moving forward, we're going to talk about network security. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about firewalls a little bit and what they are and how to protect your organization's network. So there are two main types of firewalls. Number one is a software firewall. This is something that is typically installed on your device. And what it does is it controls all traffic that comes in and out. So typically, Windows itself may have different processes that run to do different things. A good example would be just the Windows Update service. This uses a specific set of network ports on your computer to talk out to the Windows server to check for updates and things like that. So you would want, stuff like that. You would want those ports open so that it could communicate with the Windows updates. It's important to obviously understand who's accessing your network and what they can access in particular. So, the average small to medium-sized business does not have a firewall in place, or they have poor security measures in place. So it's important to audit these, to understand how they operate. The next type of firewall is a physical firewall. This is a device installed on your network, and it typically is installed behind your a router where you're getting all of your internet from. And what this does is it blocks any non-allowed traffic onto your network. It has a variety of features, such as, for one, you can create separate networks, at your business. Typically we see the most common use is, if you have what they call voice over IP phones, you would want to try to put them on a separate network so that the traffic coming in and out of your network doesn't affect your phone or the way you sound. It's very important to keep these separate. As well, it's good to segregate your network, just because hackers will try to do things like they call it lateral movement, where they get access to one device and they will try to log into another on the network. So by separating these, potentially we're ruling out vulnerabilities as well, implementing some good security. If your business has a Wi-Fi, it's very important to implement a guest Wi-Fi. And again, this is for the same reason. We don't want Joe coming in off the street and doing a scan of your network just from joining your guest Wi-Fi. By segregating these, you can better protect yourself, and then at the same time, offer your customers guest Wi-Fi that they can use, for whatever purpose. Another feature that firewalls offer, and this is one that is pretty critical, is geographic filtering. And what this is you can block geographical locations. There are things called public IP addresses, and what these are, they're assigned to different locations and businesses and things around the world. And so, they're broken up into ranges of IP addresses. And so if, for instance, you're doing business with a country like China or North Korea or something of that nature, you would want them obviously unblocked so that you could communicate with them. But if you weren't there, you don't want to make your business susceptible to attacks for no reason. So we can enable geographic filtering for these locations that have, are known for hackers and scammers and things like that, to just prevent any unauthorized access to our network. One of the other features that is offered through firewalls, and this this helps with the average employee, something called content filtering. You can set this up on your firewall, and what it does is, since your firewall is managing any inbound and outbound traffic to your network, it can actually block websites that you don't want employees to go to. So if you have an employee, for instance, that spends a lot of time on YouTube, you can implement content filtering and block that. On the flip side of that, there's also malicious websites out there, and they are, put together on a blacklist essentially. And so if you want to block any traffic for well-known hacking sites, gambling sites, you don't want people buying guns at work, we can block all of these, all of these differences. So, for one, efficiency, and two, obviously network security. Okay, so moving on to our next slide here, talk about secure remote connections. So depending on, again, the nature of your business, you may have remote employees, and those remote employees may need at any given time to access your office network to be able to maybe things like access a server. And so what this means in particular is, to be secure, you would want to implement what's called a VPN, a virtual private network. What this does is it establishes a tunnel from wherever your device is to the network. Oftentimes it's to a firewall. And then this can allow a remote employee to securely connect to your network, access resources securely. If you're just accessing your network, with nothing in between, potentially there could be an attack, such as what they call a man-in-the-middle attack, where someone is monitoring the traffic going between your device and another location, potentially getting sensitive information as it's being sent. A VPN tunnel allows this traffic to be fully encrypted and not exposed to the entirety of the internet. For very basic users, they can get their firewall by logging into it on the network and actually monitoring the VPN logs. So if you notice some strange activity, or an employee that you had was concerned about their VPN potentially being utilized by a malicious source, you can look for unusual logins. If your business doesn't operate at 3 a.m. and someone's logging in at that time, it might be a bit of a concern. So, you can go in here and kind of see when things are connecting, where they're connecting from based off of their public IP address, or potentially high data usage, which oftentimes is symbolic of malware or something else on the network sending data to another place. This is something that we see pretty regularly, and that's why it's so critical to lock these things down. And again, auditing is a very important process, and it doesn't have to take long, but it's important to keep up with it. If an employee is terminated, every account that they touch or use during their time should be audited. If they have an email, this could then be turned into something called a shared mailbox, which can be retained for, either legal purposes or, just business. If you need access to emails, email communication from this employee, it's important also to terminate their other accounts, such as a VPN account, just so that, for one, they can't connect back to your work network, and two, if they no longer work for you and they just disregard their device, a hacker cannot get in and just connect to the VPN to access your work network. And these can also be secured down with multi-factor authentication, kind of circling back to that. All of these things can be locked down with a secondary form of authentication to really bolster your network security. Our ninth topic here is going to be physical security. This is incredibly important as well, because we don't necessarily want any random person or vendor coming into our business to have access to any of our systems. Oftentimes we will see computers that get left unlocked of information on them, emails, application, maybe even a connection to a server. And we don't really know what the intentions are of the people walking through our organization. So, any rooms or network closets that we have with sensitive systems, they should be locked down. This can be done, with a key and lock, a pass card. It's just very important to secure these locations so that someone can't just walk up to your server and stick a USB in it. And same for your devices. And more, controls can be implemented. A auto lock policy that after 5 minutes of inactivity locks your device and requires a password to get back in. These are all things that can kind of help with physical security in particular. Another way to protect your business and obviously have evidence if an incident does happen is to implement a camera security system. Oftentimes these can be tied in with either a cloud service or a device that can be put on site that can record video footage. That can be 6 hours or 48 hours back, and then it can then be referenced in case of an incident or, a variety of reasons. When it comes to physical security of our backup devices, it's very important to keep them in disaster-free areas. If your backups are being stored in an area that potentially is a fire risk, we want to make sure that that's in a fire-resistant area or a locked cabinet. Besides just locking down our systems and controlling who accesses them, when and why, we don't necessarily want a random person coming in and just picking up your backup device and walking out, because then now they have all of your data. So that's why it's so important to kind of think of these things and implement some good physical security. And it doesn't hurt to, as well, just a caveat on this, just ask people what they're doing. Hey, what are you doing here? What's your purpose? Stay in this area, please. That area back, posting signage, hey, employees only, don't come back here, please. These are all things that can be done to help improve the physical security. And moving on to our final topic here, security awareness training. This is something that can be implemented for a variety of reasons. Number one, we were talking about phishing training. Phishing emails are something that every small business probably encounters almost daily. It's not uncommon to receive phishing emails. And again, the most important link in your business is your employees themselves. Someone who is uneducated or ignorant to a fact know what to look for. They won't know how to identify something or even what to do once they do identify that. So making sure that we train, it's generally recommended to train quarterly. You know, some organizations do it once a year, some do it every 6 months. But typically, you know, phishing gets more and more advanced as time goes forward. So it's important to keep up with the training to learn about new trends, new methods, and to better educate yourself. Another thing with the security awareness training, this is again a very large topic. We can do things like simulate events, such as a computer being locked down with ransomware or various things. Some of the phishing training that we like to implement for some of our customers is training where they can go in and it simulates, hey, you received a phishing email to your inbox. What are some things that you can identify, such as a strange sender address or misspelled words, things like that. A call to action, like I was speaking about earlier, where the hackers enforce a feeling of timeliness. This has to happen now. It's important. My job depends on it. Please call me now. Sometimes I'll get even phishing emails that say they're from my boss here, Anthony, saying, "Hey, call me right now." Obviously, it's not Anthony. Moving on. Tracking, phishing click rate, reporting rate. So these are all things that derive from the platform itself, depending on what it is. If you had 10 employees, say, and you wanted to test all of their ability to identify phishing emails to better secure your business, you could do something such as a email phishing campaign where it will send pretend phishing emails to your employees, and they may have links, they may have various other things, and these platforms can track, one, if they open it, two, if they click on a link, and three, if they download something. So if an employee, you notice when you do this quarterly, every single time they're clicking on stuff and downloading stuff, hey, let's enroll you in some training just so that you can better identify these phishing emails moving forward. And a lot of times these platforms also offer ways to report these simulated phishing emails, just so that you can get a good gauge on where your security posture is in general. There are other types of training as well. Phishing training. There's in general cybersecurity awareness training, such as learning about not going to malicious websites, trusting maybe some of the warning messages when you're navigating the dark web or the web in particular. There's a variety of things that we can train on, and especially with AI being so up and coming, for a long time, you identify a phishing email just based on the language in the email. You could just, tell based on, one phrase that we see all the time. They say, "Thank you kindly." It's not typically an American phrase that we hear. It's something that we will typically see tied into these phishing emails. So there is a variety of trainings that can be done in this case. So overall, this was the 10 cybersecurity essentials that every smart business owner must master. And I want to go over this. This is kind of a bonus slide here. These are some things that you can, go back to your business and start to implement or plan out. We call them the quick wins checklist. You can go back to organization after this and easily enable multi-factor authentication on any of your critical accounts, personal accounts, whatever it may be. You can also go and take a look at your weekly payment, just to make sure that your systems are actually being updated as it says. Typically Windows will do this automatically, but if you wanted to set a set schedule, such as all of your devices update on Friday at 9 p.m., you can coordinate that with the timers internally within your system. Verifying some backups and performing a test restore. This is something that can definitely be done in a short amount of time. There are many backup softwares out there. Veeam is one in particular. They have a free solution that you can use to back up some of your devices. And again, you can use that to test restoring files and documents to your computer. As for phishing training, we can run a free phishing simulation for your staff. There are a few organizations out there that offer some free phishing training with their platform, where they can send you some real brief phishing emails and kind of test your organization. And finally, a one-page incident response contact sheet. So depending on your overall hierarchy in your business, you may have an IT guy, you may have either someone that is the administrator for some of your accounts, whatever that may be. It's important for employees when those people may not be there or directly available, they need to know who to reach out to. So, if someone is responsible in your office for managing the server or your backups, and you notice there is errors with it, they need to know who to talk to so that they can then get support with that. So again, thank you very much to this webinar here. We are Captain IT. My boss, Anthony Hernandez, had introduced himself. We can be reached at our phone number here, or feel free to email us at info@captainit.com. We're more than happy to discuss anything that you may have. I'm going to turn this over now to my boss, Anthony Hernandez.
Great, thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this informational webinar. I know there's a lot of information on here, but these are, the essentials. These are things that every business owner should be paying attention to protect your business. I always, tell business owners, look, a computer, you can grab it and throw it out the window. You can replace a computer, you can replace a server, but you cannot replace 10, 20, 30 years of hard work. If your data gets encrypted, if it's lost in a fire or theft or flood or fire or anything like that, some catastrophic, incident, that's, I mean, that can put you out of business. So I always tell business owners, yeah, just do the basics, at least have the basics. And for us, that, the most important thing any business owner can do is back up your data. Nothing is more important than ensuring your data is protected, and it cannot be encrypted, because everything else can be replaced, but you cannot replace all those years of your client database, your accounting system. If you're running Sage, QuickBooks, Procore, whatever you're running, that information is critical, and it must be secured. So again, thank you, and I'll pass it over to Bartuli.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Lucas. It was great presentation. Lots of information. Thank you so much. It's a lot, but I guess it's not only small businesses, but we as individuals, we have to pay attention to the security of our devices and make sure that, because scammers are getting more sophisticated, and we have to be careful also as an individual what we are like responding, what we are checking, what we are opening, what kind of message we are receiving. So I think this information is very, very valid at different level. So by saying that, we have questions, and I want to go. I know the time is very limited, so let's go to the questions. And we got a question from one of our attendees, a great one. He or she asked that the iCloud, Microsoft OneDrive, or Google like shared drive, this is like people automatically save or put information there. Is it safe? Is it secure?
Well, it's really, for one, as secure as your account is in total. Something like OneDrive is linked to Microsoft account. So for one, device security is very important in a situation like that, where you're going to be having files and whatnot on your device. Especially in the cloud itself. So if someone can get into your account because you don't have multi-factor authentication, they can easily access your OneDrive. However, implementing, these security strategies by auto timeouts on either a phone or a device, so it locks on its own, implementing multi-factor authentication. These are some of the critical ways to secure some of those, online storages or just data in general.
Okay, so in general, they have to keep, like make sure their account is safe and secure, and do like take the necessary steps to secure it. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And the next question is, could you list some names of backup softwares that easy to use? So I am guessing this is like, maybe like Lucas, maybe you get it better, but is there any backup software or backup like, spaces?
Yes, one in particular that we like to use because it's a free solution and it works well. It's called Veeam, Veeam. It's a good tool. It's a free. You can download the free version of the software. You can then use it to either back up your files or your personal devices. That in particular, that's one that's a easier solution to implement. I believe that there are such as Acronis as well, which I believe has a free version of that for you to either again back up your software or your files and all of your data. Depending on the devices that you have on your network, one in particular is called a network attached storage device. This is essentially a toaster on your network with hard drives in it that can then take backups of either your files or your system images. These have softwares. One in particular that we like is called Active Backup for Business, and this can actually back up your Microsoft accounts. It can back up, your email calendars, your whole device. So there are quite a few tools out there. I would say, some of the free tools are not so common anymore, but there is a lot of powerful tools out there.
Okay, thank you. There is another question. It's asking about how can businesses prepare early on for hackers using AI tools?
Accounts in general. The number one way to stop a hacker from accessing anything would be to implement multi-factor authentication. But in the IT world, we call this a security stack, and what this is just like an onion has layers. Your enterprise network and even your personal account should have layers of security. By implementing some of these security strategies, some of the tools that will be used for AI will be limited. However, this is, as Anthony previously stated, cybersecurity is a new and up and coming topic, something that's becoming more of a focus for the average person. And so, it is, it's very hard to essentially tell, in what direction hackers will be leveraging AI. So by implementing some basic security policies, we can kind of prepare ourselves ahead of time for the things that we know are proven and work effectively.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. No, you continue, please.
Okay. Another question is about, we talk about this shared drive, Microsoft OneDrive or, iCloud. So the question is, can sources outside ourselves, like the individuals who or the business who has the account or our own devices, access these automatic backup systems? Is it possible? This is more about hackers.
So again, in particular, depending on where it is that you're storing, your information. If it is in something like OneDrive, these are typically being, backed up to Microsoft servers, which obviously have strong and robust security measures in place to protect your data, or such as iCloud as well.
Yeah.
Anthony?
One thing that I do want to point out, Microsoft and Google G Suite, if you read their terms and conditions, Microsoft is not responsible for backing up your email, backing up your OneDrive. They're providing a service. If you delete a file and and you realize you deleted, you can quickly go back and recover it. But if a hacker, steals your password and gets into your account and they delete everything, from 6 months and older, you're not going to realize that that information is not there. So it's important to understand and know that Microsoft is not, they don't take responsibility for your data. The user is responsible for backing up email and OneDrive and all files, Word and Excel, PowerPoint, etc.
Okay. Okay. So again, to emphasize, backing up the information is one most important step everyone should take.
Absolutely. If you're gonna do something to protect yourself, backups is the number one.
Okay. And there's another question in regards of if Dropbox is safe. I would say the answer is same as we discussed about iCloud and OneDrive. It is same. You should keep your information, secure. If anyone get that information, they can access your account. So it is like you have to make sure that you take necessary steps to secure those information. Do you want to add anything, Lucas, or I'm good?
I think you did a great job, Arturo. Great job. I think you
you.
want to just log into your account, review all your recovery email address, your backup phone number. You want to implement every security feature that is available for that service.
Okay. So there is one last thing here I can see. I am not sure this is about, this is a statement or it's a question. Please feel free to just correct me. I read it here. It's about both hackers as well as unwelcome government of commercial access to our data. So definitely, we know that, the data is being used for many purposes. So many people, they are looking for those data. And again, as business owner, as individuals, we have the responsibility to try to keep it safe. And it matters what we do with our information. Antonio, Lucas, if you want to add on that part a little bit. Yes.
Yeah, I mean the hackers, they're at the end of the day, they want to get paid. They'll ask for a ransom to give you your data back, and they can range from $10,000 to $1 million, depending on how they're feeling that day, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, that's why you got to implement everything that you can to protect your data. They only, if you don't pay the ransom, then they threaten you to expose your customer database. Then they threaten to expose your vendors, and they put their information out in the dark web for sale. Then hackers will start emailing and calling them, and there's no guarantee, right? There's no guarantee that even if you do pay the ransom, that they're going to give your data back. I mean, you're not dealing with ethical, people and honest people, right? So there's no guarantee. So at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to protect yourself, because they'll blackmail you. They'll do everything possible to, and the issue with that is, yeah, I'm not, well, forget these guys. I'm not going to pay them. They can keep my data. But then that can turn into legal issues down the road. Well, you allowed a hacker to take my information, and now my social security number and my health records are for sale out in the dark web, and it's just out in the wild. And that's these guys use different angles, and but at the end of the goal is not to let them get a hold of your private information.
Okay. And I guess one last question is, could you suggest ways to back up mobile phone data incrementally daily, like software or NAS system?
I personally, I'm an iPhone user, so all my information is backed up to the iCloud. I am sure Android has something similar. That's you wanna turn that on in case you lose your phone or you drop it, and it's in pieces. You just log into your account and everything synchronizes back to your phone or any mobile device. iPhones, iPads, tablets. You wanna enable that backup feature on any mobile device.
Okay.
And I did just want to highlight Google One is the name of the service that can back up Android devices. The one software we talked about as well also offers a mobile solution for that as well, depending on what it is your need is.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I don't see any additional questions. So if there is any other question, please feel free to post. We are already 10 minutes, we passed our time. I don't want to keep anyone, longer here. Everyone has something to do, business owners. So if there is no question, I would like to, just thank everyone, participants, and Anthony, Lucas, in particular you. It was great to have you on and hear from you. It's lots of information, which is really important. These days, it's technology is very, very useful, but we have to see the other side also, which, we need the experts like you. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I want to wish everyone a good rest of the day and say goodbye.
Thank you, Bartusi. Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good day,
everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.